Hey everyone, welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast. I'm Nan, your host for today's show, and today we'll be discussing the NYFCC awards. Michael Waldron writing Avengers, Kang, Dynasty, and Secret Warriors, the new The Boys spin-off, and The Boys season 4 trailer, House of the Dragon season 2 trailer, Oppenheimer 4K UHD selling out, Sebastian Stan being cast as Donald Trump, Bob Iger's recent comments on Disney, and the Furiosa trailer. So let's not waste any time because I'm joined here by James. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I had a good night. I've had a good weekend. I've had too much alcohol for my liking, but it's been a great time. How about you? How's your weekend? How's last night?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Chill.
Yeah, chill. Made some prawns for the first time ever, and everyone enjoyed it. So I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's always good.
I was like, sweet. This is going to be my go-to barbecue plate now.
All right, you better bring it before I go. I want those prawns.
You will have those prawns and a lot more. Trust me. So here on the Let's Roll podcast, we're here to bring you all the latest and greatest news from the entertainment industry, from blockbuster hits to indie flicks. We've got it all covered. And if you're a real movie buff, be sure to check out MovieGainz.com for even more exciting content like box office analysis, Oscar predictions, and physical media content. So let's get straight into it. So the 2023 New York Film Critics Circle Awards, which is the NYFCCA, which I alluded to earlier, has just been released or just happened. And there were some pretty surprising winners coming out of this. So we'll just talk about the main ones. So for Best Picture, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. Best Director was Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Best Actor was Franz Rogowski for Passages. Best Actress was Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Best Supporting Actor was Charles Melton for May December. Supporting Actress was Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Best Original Screenplay got May December. Best Animated Film was The Boy and the Heron. Best Cinematography was Oppenheimer. Best International Film was Anatomy of a Fall. And Best First Film was Past Lives. So, James, you've been following pretty much the Oscar race quite closely. Mm-hmm. How does this stack up, and how do you think it's going to reflect into the Oscars?
All right, well, I'll preface this conversation by saying on MovieGainz.com, we're going to be setting up an award precursor tracker. So, people that are listening to this, whether it's casually or you follow the podcast or whatever, jump on over to MovieGainz.com. Within the next week, we're going to have a precursor tracker, tracking all these precursor awards, having the stats up for what film is winning what categories. And so you guys can kind of make your own predictions. Precursors are the biggest indicator for what's getting the most momentum as we head to the Oscars. So if you're a betting man and you have money on the line, come to the precursor tracker because it's going to be your most accurate way to make these predictions. I have a really good track record when it comes to making Oscar predictions. And we're going to have a bunch more Oscars content coming out over the next couple of months. But as for this one, the precursor awards are well underway with the Critic Circle Awards, and this one's coming out of New York. We're going to get all the other states and stuff coming soon. What I make of this, Best Picture and Best Director, Killers of the Flower Moon and Christopher Nolan. Prior to this being announced, that would have been my best bet very early in the Oscar game, but I always thought, everyone's been thinking Scorsese versus Nolan, right? And I was always under the impression that it's going to be Killers for Best Picture and Oppenheimer for Director for Nolan, because Scorsese's one director, so Academy might want to give Nolan his due for this time. It was still a long way to go and things can change, but I think that's going to be how it stacks up at this point in time. So that one doesn't really surprise me. And I'm not mad whether, Killers gets it or Oppenheimer gets it. They're both amazing movies. I'm already seeing people fight online about this, which is silly. Franz Rogowski for Passages. That one is a stunning surprise. I've never really heard of this in the Oscar discussion at all. Who knows if it gets any momentum from this, but it's a surprise there. And you look at this now and you have to consider him being a strong contender in the Best Actor category, which is already a very stacked category to begin with. Lily Gladstone as Best Actress. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but Lily Gladstone still feels like a supporting actress. And I haven't seen Maestro or what's the movie? Poor Things. And I've heard amazing stuff about Carey Mulligan and Emma Stone in those movies. And so I always looked at Best Actress to be incredibly competitive. Lily Gladstone taking it. Not too surprising. I just want to see if she's going to dominate the entire category or if those other actresses are going to come out. Best Supporting Actor might be the biggest surprise here. Charles Melton. Like, I love Charles Melton in May, December, and I think you did as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be, right off the bat winning the award for it, but here we are. And, pair that with May, December winning screenplay. And it's not just Best Original Screenplay. It's just screenplay in general. So it beats everything else. Killers, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, whatever else is eligible. So May, December may be, a sneaky movie to kind of dominate award season if it's, getting some early buzz through this. But yeah, Charles Melton was really good. And, I don't know if he deserves it over the others, but I mean, he deserves to be in the conversation for sure. And this is definitely going to put him there. And the stuff I see, man, it's just ridiculous. Like on Twitter, I saw like a tweet from like quite a big account. It's just like, Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. have been snubbed at the NYFCC awards. I'm like, what? No. Like, that's not what snubbed means. Snubbed means expected to win. There is no indication that Cillian Murphy or Robert Downey Jr. is expected to win because Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, they're alive. Mark Ruffalo, and for the supporting actor category at least. And Best Actor has so much eligible good actors in there. There's no indication that it was expected to win, so therefore it's not a snub. You're just salty and sad that Oppenheimer's not dominating. So yeah, that's not a snub. Really annoys me. Davine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers. We're seeing that movie tomorrow. I'm really excited. I've heard so much good stuff about it, and I've heard very, very good stuff about her performance in this movie alongside Paul Giamatti. Animated film as well, another massive surprise. I think when we saw Across the Spider-Verse, we just, best animated feature, it's won. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next category. The Boy and the Heron might play a good role in this, might make it actually competitive because without that movie existing, it looked like Across the Spider-Verse was easily going to sweep almost every animated award out there. I think we see this on Tuesday. Is it this Tuesday or next Tuesday?
I think it's next Tuesday, 12th or something.
Yeah, well, we see it soon, so we'll be able to see how that pairs up with it. But the creator of it, I always forget his name. He's 82 years old now, and he was supposed to retire after this. I think he's going to do one more afterwards, but it might be one of the last chances for the Academy to give him his due. And I think that might play a role in this, perhaps getting the win or being competitive with Across the Spider-Verse. Cinematography for Oppenheimer, I think. I don't really know what could line up in terms of rivaling that, but I'm not surprised of whatever was in Oppenheimer from Hoyt van Hoytema was very, very good. Anatomy of a Fall for international film, that's funny because it won't be eligible for Best International Film at the Oscars because France decided to submit The Taste of Things over Anatomy of a Fall.
Which is so dumb.
I don't know why they did that. I know that The Taste of Things got good reviews out of Cannes, and I think it won Best Director. But Anatomy of a Fall is winning everything, and it's in the Best Picture conversation as well. So, interesting choice by France there. And Best Film, Best First Film for Past Lives. I don't know what else could have won that because for Past Lives to be your first film is insane. And Celine Song did very good with that. She absolutely deserves that award. What are your takeaways from this? Surprises, expectations?
I think you pretty much covered the surprises with supporting actor Charles Melton. I think we're all thinking Robert Downey Jr. to pretty much take that.
Yep.
What else? I was sort of expecting what's her face, Natalie Portman, to win Best Actress
from May December.
Mm-hmm.
I think she definitely deserves it, but she's not like being discussed in the ranks of like Emma Stone and Carey Mulligan, or Lily Gladstone. But
yeah, so
Mm.
I was expecting that. Lily Gladstone was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
The top two, Best Picture, Best Director, that was somewhat of a given. For Best Director was pretty much going to be between
Those two.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe as a dark horse, Bradley Cooper, but I think the main heat has been on.
Or Yorgos Lanthimos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he could be in the running for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest surprise for me was animated film. I mean, I know it's a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah.
But as you said it, when it came out of Spider-Verse, okay, cool. This is Avatar, where it releases and it's going to win those visual effects awards.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse comes out, we know it's going to win animated feature, but now this, The Boy and the Heron, throws a span on the works, and
it does.
it's going to make all eyes on this category now. International film, that's funny because it's not even going to be at the Oscars.
Yeah, so that's silly.
And first film, Past Lives, that's well earned by Celine's Song because that film is absolutely fantastic. And if you guys haven't seen it, see it.
Yeah. I'll ask you this. So, this is only the first precursor awards, and there's lots out there. So things change as we move forward, as we get to the Oscars. Let's say, NYFCC has it right here, and this is kind of the outline for the front runners leading up to Oscar night. Do you disagree with any of these picks? Only based on stuff you've seen.
Well, no, because the stuff I disagree with is stuff I haven't seen. Best Actor, I haven't seen Passages, and Best Supporting. Oh no,
Actress.
No, not Best Supporting Actress. Sorry, I thought that was Best Actress.
Yeah.
Probably Best Supporting Actor. I feel Robert Downey Jr. was just a touch more better.
Well, yeah, I think
than Charles Melton. Not saying that Charles Melton doesn't deserve this award because he was definitely fantastic in the film.
Yeah.
But I think Robert Downey Jr. just gave a more complete performance over Charles.
Yeah. And I think De Niro is better than Melton as well.
Yeah, for Killers.
There's another supporting actor out there. Oh, the Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo of Poor Things are meant to be really good as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about Ryan Gosling for Barbie?
Oh, no.
No? No, you're not part of that advocate, eh?
No.
I still think it'll be nominated, but
I think so too, but there are other actors in the category which are 10 times better than what Ryan Gosling did.
10 times better.
10
wow.
times.
Yeah.
Just to compare the Barbenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. was a way better actor in that film than Gosling was in Barbie.
I do agree with that, yeah. For sure. I think it is between the two Roberts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So screenplay.
May, December.
So worthy frontrunner.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, maybe Killers or Oppenheimer could sneak in, but I'm happy with May, December.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting award season. It's only the first one. I don't know what comes out this week, but yeah, it'll be interesting as we keep going across. I think we'll have the Golden Globe nominations soon enough as well. And thank God for us over the next couple of weeks, we actually get some of these Oscar movies under our belt because, New Zealand's not very kind with us when it comes to things.
I hope we get Poor Things.
There's a public screening for it in the weekend. We'll wait out this week to see if we get an invitation. Otherwise, we're going to book it because I'm so excited for that movie.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And we're seeing Wonka on Sunday.
Yep.
Best Picture frontrunner.
Oh, yes. Cannot wait. Kyan's #1 film of 2023. Or most anticipated, sorry. He's not here today, but he will be on that review, I'm sure.
We will roast him.
Or we will praise him as a genius for cooking that film. All right, next topic is we have finally found out who our writers will be for the next two Avengers films. So Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars will be written by Michael Waldron. So he previously wrote Doctor Strange. Is it in the Multiverse of Madness, and he also created Loki. So he has something that's really, really good and something that's disappointing, really. So James, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Michael Waldron can tap into his Loki sort of stuff and produce good Avenger films, or do you think he might lean more towards Multiverse of Madness?
Illuminati?
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. He wrote that joke.
He wrote that joke. I am mixed on this. I need to see the supporting talent around him, because he's created Loki, and I think Loki is brilliant from the conceptualization of the TVA to its use of time and that entire world. I think it's just really brilliant stuff. I was really down on Loki prior to it ever grazing the screen. I was
yes.
very against the idea that why do we have more Loki? He's done. He's finished. But they made it one of the best things post Endgame, which is a very hard thing to do, it seems. Anything good after Endgame is very hard to do, it seems like. But yeah, Michael Waldron, the creator of that one, I think he wrote 2 episodes in the first season, none in the second season, I believe. The second season, it was written by, I forgot his name, Eric something. The writer of the second season needs to join him. Then it needs to be co-written by these 2 guys, I think, because I think Michael Waldron is very good with executing and developing concepts, and I think you need that in Secret Wars. And I don't know too much about Kang Dynasty, but the multiverse saga, I think Michael Waldron can produce good ideas and put them to the page through writing. But his dialogue, structure, character work needs some improvement there, I think. So that's where Loki comes in. And the brilliance of Loki is it does everything. The creation of its world, the story, and the progression is all really good. The character work is really good. And so I think if you pair Michael Waldron with the writer of the second season Loki, that's a really great writing team for both the movies. And I think you need the writing team to be on for both movies if they are going to be somewhat of a 2-parter kind of deal. And then pair that again with I think it's Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, the director duo. I think you need 2 directors to be a part or to create movies like Avengers as big as they are, because sure, Joss Whedon did really well with Avengers 1, but you're talking about 6 heroes there. It's easy enough to balance out when they've all had their solo movies. But then we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron, new characters come in, and he fell under that pressure. It wasn't as good as the first one. And so I think you need 2 people kind of keeping each other accountable and, bouncing ideas off one another. So I don't believe, because I know that Sam Raimi was the top choice.
For Secret Wars.
Yeah, alongside Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. Yeah, so, and I don't think one director could handle something like Secret Wars on their own. In a dream scenario, I would love the Daniels to take on. That would just be the dream, but it feels far too unrealistic to want that. So I think a director duo and a writing duo that have previous experience, and yeah, because that directing duo I mentioned directed Loki season 2 as well.
Yeah.
So they directed the last 3 episodes in the first episode, which are the best episodes of the series or of the season 2. So yeah, Michael Waldron, I'm completely on board for him being a part of this, but he does need backup or a co-writer with him. Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that too, especially just basing it off Multiverse of Madness, because there were some horrendous lines in that film, and you didn't mention one of them.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think he does need another writer with him. If there's going to be 2 directors, then you might as well have 2 writers.
Yeah.
You're completely right about the 2 directors as well. I think 1 is not enough and 3 might be too many. I think 2 is perfect. You can get the same sort of vision, or it's more easy to discuss ideas with 2 people than 3, because then you're going to have 3 lots of ideas, and where do you compromise from,
Yeah.
So I think 2 directors is perfect for these sort of films, especially Kang Dynasty and especially for Secret Wars, because they are going to be 10 times more bigger than the first 2 Avengers, and to an extent Endgame as well, just in terms of scale-wise.
Scale-wise, for sure, yeah.
So definitely need 2 there. So if that's going to be the case, you should definitely have 2 writers. You can't put all your faith into 1 writer.
That's a lot of pressure as well. Yeah.
Especially for the scale of of both films, actually. And considering that the last thing he wrote was film-wise was Multiverse of Madness, that was I think our biggest disappointment of that year. Can't remember if we did the MGA awards, but
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that film had so much potential, and it was just a big letdown. We're not saying that it's a bad movie. It was just disappointing for what was promised, really.
Yeah, it was fine, and that's
Yeah.
all. But it was just disappointing is the right
Yeah.
word for that.
So I really don't want an Avengers film, especially on this scale, to be in that conversation of most disappointing. So
Yeah,
I think two writers will be better. You got an ideas man and someone that can just flesh out the the character side and the dialogue side as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think dialogue is going to be very important, and just the overall structure. I think Secret Wars is going to be it's going to be a whole cameo kind of movie if they're going to bring everyone together. I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah, I don't think this is like a one-man kind of job. It needs to be, you need a lot of eyes over it to make sure, are you missing something? Could you add something here? Should we take out that, So yeah, I don't think Michael Waldron can do this alone. He needs a backup. Yeah, but I do think he's good enough to be a part of it. Yeah,
for sure. All right, now time to talk about The Boys. Some big boys news has come out over the week. So we've got treated to a new spin-off that's currently been in development. It's called The Boys Mexico, and it's set in Mexico, obviously. It's in development with and it's in development with Diego Luna, who is the main actor in Andor, and Gael Garcia Bernal, who was in who voiced Hector in Coco. And they may produce and star in this series. Gareth Dunnett also is set to write, and he wrote Blue Beetle. That came out this year. So it's still very in the early development phase, It's just an idea at this point. That's going to be set in Mexico. They haven't really gone into what the plot will entail or the cast and stuff like that. But it is something that is going to happen eventually. So, James, what are your thoughts on this?
Ooh, I'm very mixed. I'm straight down the middle with this. I don't quite know how I feel about it. On the positive side, I did not like the idea of a Gen V, a boys spinoff. I didn't think that the boys, at least that universe, was strong enough to command a spinoff show, especially so early. I just didn't think there was room for it. I didn't think it was needed or required. Gen V came out pretty fucking awesome, So it was really good. And I'm like, oh, okay, I shouldn't have doubted the boys for, having a spinoff show. It really, really worked, and it fit in really well. And, I can handle more of that kind of the boys style and tone without it feeling like too much or, getting numb to that kind of shock value of the series. But I don't know, if we're getting another spinoff now, then this is where the bad side comes in. Like we've seen this before. What is it? Like The Walking Dead has many spinoff shows now, and it's too much content. And Game of Thrones, like they want to do Jon Snow spinoff and another spinoff, and I'm like, guys, stop, too much. And I will watch it. I'll give it a fair chance, and I'll be open-minded with it. Like Boys in Mexico, I could get on board with that. I could buy into that kind of idea. You got the writer of Blue Beetle. I think he would slide in perfectly with being a part of that, and having Diego Luna star. He feels like he's got the right temperament to handle a role in The Boys. So I'd be down for it. I do get worried that Amazon Prime is going to start milking its biggest property, maybe the biggest property, but definitely top 5 for them, one of their best and biggest. They're going to milk it into a bunch of spin-off shows, and at some point I'm going to be like, I have a life, so I'm not going to watch everything that you do, and I will pick and choose what I can. But yeah, I don't like the idea of TV shows just going ham. I think when it's in the same universe, only 2 kind of shows going at once it feels like the max that I could handle without feeling fatigued by that franchise.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like Star Wars or MCU where it's limited series of different characters, then I can buy into it. If Gen B was limited, cool, move on to Mexico kind of thing. That's how I feel about it. But if you have the same talent involved with it, I'm sure it's just going to be great. It just gets a bit too much at some points.
Yeah. They also haven't had a release date for this yet, so I was wondering if they will do Gen V season 2 first, and then Boys season 5,
Mm.
and then they'll move on to this. So pretty much the second season and 5th season will lead into the events of Mexico, similar to how Gen V's events has led into season 4 of The Boys.
So they're all going to tie in together.
Yeah, I think that's the only way I can see this working quite well, is if they all interconnect some way.
Yeah.
And obviously with The Boys, after watching Gen V, we definitely know that they can do it quite well.
Yeah.
After season 4, after we see that, because those events will lead into Gen V season 2, so we can actually get a good idea whether it was a one-hit wonder or if it's something legit that they actually thought through really well and planned it. So if they do that and it is a hit, then I'll have complete faith in The Boys Mexico.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
then again, it also depends on stuff like what the premise is, actors and everything like that.
Yeah, because I think Gen V works because it's, different ages of similar kind of characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it throws you into university, college environment, which is different. And what's Mexico? It's just in Mexico. Like, what is so tonally different that it separates or distinguishes itself from The Boys and Gen V?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to buy it completely if it's just The Boys but in Mexico. Yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait and see until more stuff is announced for that.
Yeah.
And speaking of The Boys, we finally got our first trailer for season 4.
Mm-hmm.
There is no official release date yet. Not even a hint, but it is looking like sometime next year is when all season 4 will come out. So like I said, the events of Gen V and the aftermath of the season finale of season 3 for The Boys will lead straight into this.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the trailer?
It's a very good teaser trailer, which does make me wonder where we're going to get that release date in. I would assume that it's early, or the first half of 2024. Not too sure though. But if they're releasing trailer now, I'm sure that it's on the way and it's coming pretty closely. But it was very much a teaser trailer. Like, there's really not much to grab at from just this first look. You're just kind of seeing, I guess, where it's tonally going and how, I guess, The Boys it's going to be. Yeah. That's really the only way I could really define that. It just seems to show. It doesn't really give much of an indication on where Homelander is and stuff like that. It focused more on the political landscape of The Boys' world, the democracy and kind of the two sides fighting, which I guess is like, and what's it called? Allegory? No. Analogy for Republicans versus Democrats.
Yeah.
And that's all fine and good. I love those kind of references to our reality today, but I just hope that it does push more forward in the story of Homelander and the boys and what they're doing, with soups and all that kind of stuff. I just hope it pushes forward in that story and doesn't get too fixated on the political landscape of everything, because it's interesting, it's well and good, but it's kind of happening today. So I just kind of want to see these characters that we've seen, over the last 3 seasons just continue to be developed and actually have some progress in the story. I think my biggest criticism of season 3 is that there wasn't much progression between the main characters from start to the end. Soldier Boy came in and left, and they're kind of back at the start, or not much progression has really happened. So hopefully we move forward a little bit more and see things go out a bit better. But very much looking forward to it.
Yeah. Does look like as if it's going to be pretty bloody, especially that last shot. Be interesting to see how Homelander puts himself in that situation.
Yeah.
Where he has another spaz moment and just beams everyone and all their blood just goes onto him.
Yeah, because the ending of season 3 ended with him just killing a civilian, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it threw something at what's his face.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like his son's going to be with him. Yeah. Loyal to him.
Yeah, because that's how season 3 ended, is that the son, I forgot his name, Ryan.
Yeah.
He was with Billy Butcher.
Yeah.
And then he left and basically just went to Homelander.
Yeah.
And then Homelander introduced his son to the world and got a bottle or something thrown at him. And poor guy that threw that bottle is
it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And apparently Homelander's going to have a trial in regards to that.
Oh, really?
In this, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's just a rumor or fan cast or whatever. But if that is the case, I think that could be really, really interesting. You know, like a legal political system for the soup,
Yeah,
who is literally a god,
I would like that. Yeah,
and like him having to abide by laws and stuff. And we know how like arrogant and cocky Homelander has gotten
yeah.
over the series. Like you can just see him taking that whole trial as a joke and be like, I can literally decimate all of you guys.
Yeah. I just hope we get progression with Homelander where he kind of just loses all control and he's like, nah, like fuck this, I'm gonna like kill everyone and like completely crack and snap. It just seems like it's taking so long to get there. And I don't want to have to wait till like season 10 of The Boys for the ultimate finale. Like it feels like a story that's a little bit shorter than that.
Yeah.
Season 5, it feels like that's where it's like the big series ender. At least for this main boys storyline.
I think so too. I don't see it going anywhere above season 6. Because after that, the boys can only try to stop Vought so many times and, you know.
Yeah, they have to kind of win in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess, once Homelander, meets his fate, I just see it as pointless as building up another one, the next Homelander. It's just kind of like we've done this before.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the boys Mexico.
Hey, Mr. Mexico.
What?
Mr. Mexico.
What's Mr. Mexico?
The Homelander version, but the Mexican version of Homelander.
Mr. Mexico.
I don't know if that's an actual thing.
No, that's a good name. Mr. Mexico.
Mr. Mexico. Here we go. Get ready. All right. And not only did we get a teaser for The Boys, we also got a special treat and we got a teaser for House of the Dragon Season 2 as well. The season is promised to bring blood and a whole lot of dragons, and you definitely see both blood and dragons in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no official date yet, but we have been given an indication that summer 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So that's August, September, October, really. Is
No.
when we...
It's May, June, July. Or June, July, August.
Is it?
Yeah, for the States.
Oh, yeah, they're winter.
Unless it's our summer.
Oh, shit.
It's January, February.
Oh, just coming next month. June, July, August is when we can expect this series.
Mhm.
So, James, what are your thoughts on the second season trailer?
I really liked it. As far as the teaser goes, yeah, this builds up right where season 1 ended, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm keen to see how these characters progress, how the war and the tension between that family kind of starts to divide, and how they gear up towards war, and seeing who lands on the throne. I don't know if they'll be addressed in the second season, but I'm looking forward to continuing the story and building up to it. As for it's promising more blood and more dragons, it certainly looks that way. We're seeing that stuff in the teaser. There's a good amount here.
Yeah.
And I just hope we get some classic war scenes similar to like Battle of the Bastards, or I think it was the season 2 finale, those great war scenes that I hope we get more of that, because I think season 1 did a perfect job of laying the groundwork here and just setting it all up. And now we can go fully into it with really good scenes and have it play out. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know how much of this is covered in the book, but I'm going to hope to avoid those kind of spoilers, because I just kind of want to see who wins and how it all plays out. Should be interesting, but it looks really good from a visual imagery standpoint.
Mhm.
I'm very much excited to jump straight back into this story, because the first season really surprised me, and I only watched it recently, so keen to get back into it. But yeah, summer 2024. I hope that's in June at the early stages of it.
Yeah. Me too. I think it looks fantastic. It looks peak Game of Thrones. The season
Peak
1
Game of Thrones.
No, like I'm talking about. It looks like the peak of Game of Thrones. The season 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of looks like that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like a season 7 or 8.
Okay. Yeah.
If you know what I mean now.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
It looks like as if we're getting like the good side of Game of Thrones, and I hope it does deliver on that.
Yeah.
The CGI on the dragons already looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, we're going to be treated to something special here.
Yeah.
Have no idea. I'm like you. I haven't read the books, but I don't really want to find out what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just watch it and be like, holy shit, not like I was for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I forgot her name, but the other one. So you got Rhaenyra, and then what's the other girl?
The Queen.
Called? Yeah, the Queen. I'll just call her the Queen.
Yeah.
Their first interaction, which I think we might see in this, is going to be super, super intense.
Yeah.
Especially following the events of the end of season 1.
Well, that was an accident as well.
It was, but
Yeah, so that's a funny side of it. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, it does feel like Game of Thrones, or at least HBO has kind of figured this out, and I'm still going to be a little skeptical. Yeah, and not have my expectations sky high, but I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I expect good things at least. Yeah,
we'll find out next year
for sure.
Right, some physical media news. So Oppenheimer released last week in 4K UHD, and apparently it's all sold out in the US already, which I find absolutely stupid considering how huge the United States is. Yeah, so that really caught me by surprise when I saw that piece of news. James, what do you think of this, and do you think it's true?
Do I think it's true? I believe it's true. I mean, we've heard it from news sources, so I would assume it's true. But I find it very hard to believe. Best Buy is not happy about this. But yeah, no, I am very surprised about it. I know Nolan is a huge advocate for buying physical media, and I guess he's been making some comments about that stuff recently, and perhaps that's caused the massive surge of people purchasing Oppenheimer on 4K. I still don't understand how or why it's sold out. Is it from a manufacturing standpoint? Did Universal be like, oh, we'll just do this amount and we'll just sell it out. They'll sell over time.
Yeah,
and maybe they underestimated it. But I think if Nolan is, the primary reason as to why it's sold on 4K, his power in Hollywood is just, it's reaching levels of director stardom we've never seen in history.
Yeah.
Because not only does he command a 3-hour black and white biopic that's all dialogue, by the way, pretty much, to $950 million at the box office, the highest biopic of all time, R-rated, all that kind of stuff. He also sells out 4K UHD in a time where physical media sales are declining.
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous, and Universal should give him anything and everything he wants, because the stuff that he can do for them is just crazy. But yeah, no, I believe that it has sold out. It is very surprising. I went to JB Hi-Fi in New Zealand to go and buy the Steelbook. It wasn't there. I think they just didn't stock it. They probably just had it in a DC for online purchase only. I would imagine. But I saw the normal copies had been taken off the shelf, so people were buying it. Perhaps people just love Oppenheimer that much, or perhaps it's Nolan. His recent comments about how no evil streaming company can steal it from you, buy it. And I haven't had the time to watch it on my OLED TV yet, and I want to do that before I have to sell that TV, and just see how the quality and the audio sounds with it. I'm very much looking forward to that experience.
Yeah, I think it's a bit true as well, because when I went to buy Ninja Turtles on Thursday, there was only one Oppenheimer disc left.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they had multiple shelves when I was there.
Oh yeah.
The thing in the front and then at the back as well.
I think they had the thing at the front, but on the actual shelving and the sides, there was just one.
That's
left.
Crazy.
And I was like, oh shit, maybe it is true. But then I was like, well, little old New Zealand, America is 100 million people.
Yeah.
So obviously they'll get way more than us, and for that to completely sell out is insane.
Definitely.
It's only just a big win for physical media at the end of the day. Really, if you think about it, if it's true, which I hope it is, because you said it before, physical media is a dying trend, really. And if this film is selling out because of Nolan and his recent comments, and obviously the quality of Oppenheimer, then awesome. Hopefully we see more films sell out as well of this type of quality.
I hope so. I doubt it. I don't know what movie could kind of really sell out like this. The closest I could think of right now is something like Top Gun Maverick, perhaps.
Yeah.
Avatar, The Way of Water. I don't think that even did it. And I would expect it to come close or around Oppenheimer's level in terms of popularity. But I mean, further to this, I saw a recent report that for the first time ever, 4K UHDs outsold Blu-rays in a specific time period.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever, 4K is above standard Blu-ray, which is very interesting, considering the price difference and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, hopefully the trend continues or like its popularity goes up and people start to appreciate physical media a little bit more.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because remember, no one can take it away from you once you buy it.
Exactly. It's yours and you can see it and hold it and love it and care for it, embrace it. Yep.
You done?
Cuddle it. Snuggle it. I'm not going to go further than that. That's all you do with a movie. You don't do anything else to it.
Everything James just said is what you can do with a physical media. If that doesn't get you sold on the idea, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Go cuddle your movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So on the last podcast I hosted, we talked about the Elon Musk film biopic that was getting made, and now we're getting one based on Donald Trump. It's titled The Apprentice. It's rumored to be set in the younger Donald Trump's sort of era. It's directed by Ali Abuazu, and he directed episodes 8 and 9 of The Last of Us. Sebastian Stan is set to play Donald Trump. Jeremy Strong is set to play the attorney Roy Cohen, and Maria Baklova is going to be playing Ivana Trump, which is Trump's first wife. So, James, what do you think about this biopic, and what sort of aspect of Donald Trump's life would you want to see?
Well, I know that the film is based on him and his real estate company in the 70s and 80s, the starting of that, which I would say is probably perfect for a Trump movie. I don't really want the whole political stuff, at least the recent times of Donald Trump. I know that's the older version, but I think that's a good reason. Or a good aspect to focus on Donald Trump's life. I'm really interested to see how he created that real estate business, because his success and stuff that he's had from that is insane, and I'd love to see it. But Sebastian Stan playing Trump, I don't like that at all. Like, at all. I think it's an awful casting decision, in my opinion. Can Sebastian Stan pull it off? I don't even know. I feel like Sebastian Stan is quite limited as an actor. I haven't really seen him and been blown away by any performance he's ever done. There's been times where he's been fine. Granted, I haven't seen Pam and Tommy, but I've heard he's good in that. But there's nothing that we've seen and been like, whoa, or like where there's like we've seen the ability to be extremely versatile from him. Perhaps this is the one where he can demonstrate that, but I'm just not sure. I think, looking at younger pictures of Donald Trump, I would have leaned something close to like Paul Dano or something like that. I think that he might have been able to do it, and I think Paul Dano, it fits a little bit better with comedy and drama, and achieving the equilibrium between those two. But I mean, Sebastian Stan, it could be okay. Jeremy Strong, I think that's a strong pick. So no, that I had to do that one. That one was good. Don't roll your eyes at me. Jeremy Strong, I've seen bits and bobs from Succession. He's awesome in that. 3-time Emmy nominee from that show, and in a similar kind of role. Just kind of that corporate businessman like kind of role. He's a perfect fit for this. And we also saw him in Aaron Sorkin's Trial of the Chicago 7. Very good as well, and he was great in that. So yeah, I mean, it's a good movie idea, but there's a lot more that needs to happen and a lot more that I need to see to convince me to buy into this kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of with you on Sebastian Stan. I have seen Pam and Tommy, and he is actually pretty decent in it. Probably the best thing I've seen him in, considering I've only seen him in Marvel stuff, really.
I, Tonya, did you ever
watch that? Yes, in I, Tonya.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was actually really good in that too.
He was okay in that.
Yeah. But no, I think he was good in Pam and Tommy. He played that sort of eccentric, erratic, type character.
Yeah.
Which if it was pretty much set on older Trump of the past couple years, I think it would be a good casting decision. But because it's based on his earlier years, I think Donald Trump was a bit too, was a lot more tame back then as he is now.
Yeah.
I also think he's just too much of a pretty boy to play Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, unless they're gonna do prosthetics or something like that.
Yeah, I do believe that. But Sebastian Stan was also in Dumb Money. He played the CEO of Robin Hood, which was like an investor platform at that time. And so it's kind of like a similar role, but he played it in a very weird way. And, it's all got to do with money and stuff, which I assume this movie's going to dabble in quite heavily. And yeah, he just gets outcasted by everyone else.
Yeah.
He's the perfect sidekick.
He's the perfect supporting actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Always a bridesmaid and never the bride with Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, so I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to wait and see. I do like how it's based on his earlier years, on how Trump made his business and how he became so successful.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an interesting story to see on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait for that, but I think I need to wait for a trailer before I can actually judge on their performances, because Maria Baklova, we've pretty much really seen her in Borat 2.
Subsequent movie film.
Yep.
That is the title of Borat 2.
Borat 2. And she was probably a highlight of that film.
Oh, she's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Is she?
Yeah. She voices Cosmos, the dog. We watched it the other night.
I know. I'm just trying to think if that counts or not.
She's got the voice down.
She does.
I know that the last two episodes of The Last of Us are really good. So the director, what are your thoughts on him handling something like this?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it did a good job, because those last two episodes were actually really good.
Last of Us wouldn't really have any similarities to this kind of story, though.
No.
Would it? So it should be interesting.
Yeah. But just in terms of directing wise, I guess he can pull it off. If he could do Last of Us episodes 8 and 9, which were pretty good, then I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Interesting. I'm excited.
All right. Old Bobby Boy, Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, has pretty much gone like a little tirade, really, about the state of Disney. So there was pretty much three big aspects he talked about. First one is in regards to the Marvels. So he pretty much blames the underperformance of the Marvels on the large volume of content being produced, making it harder for execs to supervise. He also went on to say that because the film was shot during COVID, it made it very difficult for the execs to go on set and supervise and pretty much make adjustments on the film. His next one was, he says that the creators of Disney has lost sight of their jobs, where they should entertain first rather than creating messages. He did add that creating messages is great, but that's not their primary job when it comes to making films. So that's a big one. And his last one was in terms of sequels. He commented saying that there's too many sequels being made by Disney, way too many. He said that he does support sequels, but from now on, they will only greenlight a sequel if they truly believe that there is a story worth telling in those sequels. So that one is a bit more understandable. So, James, what do you think of Bob's comments, and is there anything you agree with here?
Well, we'll break it down. So the Marvels thing, a large volume of content making it harder for execs to supervise. It sounds pretty bullshit to me. A pretty dumb comment to really make, because you don't really want to be supervised. And these aren't children, they're adult directors. They're creative talent that you've hired and paid to make this. So what's the supervision aspect of it? And I really doubt that, execs like Kim Feige and all that kind of stuff have not been supervising the Marvels, because it doesn't, the bombing of the Marvels has nothing to do with the quality of the film. The movie is fresh. At the end of the day, it's fresh. So it's getting mostly good reviews. So the bombing has nothing, like, if execs were there to supervise it, the quality of the film may worsen or may get better, but that has nothing to do with the bombing. And that's what he's implying here. So, I mean, I completely disagree with that statement. And I really just hate the way that he I really dislike the way that he said making it harder to supervise. I don't like how studios feel like they need to supervise things like that. Then maybe perhaps do supervise in script development processes and pre-production. Come on there, let's get all the adjustments done quickly before we start filming. You don't need to be on set to supervise. You can be there, but if you've entrusted your director to do their job, you watch them and you just sit back and let them do what you're paying them to do, because we need to be able to respect creative vision. And if you're hiring directors just to supervise them, then you're not hiring them for their creative vision. And that's kind of what a director is. They have a vision. They need to execute that completely. Studio interference alongside creative vision, then that's not a good blend. The studios need to just back off and just let them execute their vision. If they make a shit movie, just don't re-employ them. Don't bring them on for the next one. That's the risk you have to take. And I think we've seen Marvel movies before where they have executed their vision. So I don't buy that. Not their supervising, but I believe that a large volume of content does make it harder for the execs to look over things and make sure it's all on track, especially for something like the MCU. But not supervised on set. I think that's completely ridiculous. But for, Kevin Feige, obviously the main example there, he would be, drowning in work because of all this content coming through and to make adjustments. How does it all fit into the one storyline, and how do we build up to this, and all those kind of moving parts. I think it would make it very hard for him to do. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, pretty much on the same thought path as you. When he says execs, I assume it's Disney execs, not say the Kevin Feige.
He's a Disney exec.
Oh, is he?
Well, he's an executive, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I somewhat agree with it. I mean, he is definitely right in regards to the large volume of content. And you did touch upon it before with Kevin Feige. Especially since COVID, there's been 100 movies and 20,000 TV shows. That's way too much for
I think you're undervaluing that. And there's a little bit more than that, I think.
Oh yeah, probably. So yeah, it does make it a bit harder for Kevin Feige to actually take in and map out. That's why the first saga was so successful. Was because he was quite heavily involved. And he had a clear vision of where the story started and finished. And any director that came on, he just pretty much shared the vision, and that's why it was such a success. But this one, they have a goal in mind, but it hasn't been properly thought out yet. Because there's so many projects for him to look at and review or whatever he does. COVID has nothing to do with why this movie bombed. The movie bombed because it's dumb. So that aspect is a bit stupid, but
but I mean, I think the movie bombing is it's because of everything else happening in the MCU, and I think just general superhero fatigue and mediocrity fatigue as well has come into play,
and bland characters who have pretty much only seen them once properly.
People like the Marvel, it should be Captain Marvel 2 with supporting cast. People would actually be able to recognize it because not everyone has Disney Plus, but a lot of people have seen or go to the movies at least, or at least know of these things in comics. But okay. So the next part we'll touch upon with the Bob Iger thing that you said. Creators of Disney have lost sight of their jobs, and they should be entertaining first, and then or not creating messages. So entertain first, messages some other time, second, or whatever we want to call it. I don't agree with this comment. It really depends on how he means it. I don't know if this entire quote encapsulates what he was trying to say there, because I think a great director or writer or someone involved in the film industry, the perfect blend of a really powerful and strong message aligned with equaling with great entertainment. Both can be done. That you don't need to put entertainment above messaging, and you don't need to put messaging above entertainment. They can be a perfect balance. And yeah, I think what he means, or what I hope he means here, is that the messages shouldn't be so on the nose. Like, this movie is about this, and this is the meaning, and this is what you should do in life, and this is how you should think. I think that's really bad, and we've seen that we've been seeing that a lot throughout movies these days, especially Disney movies. It's just like right in front of your face, like telling you what it's about, and it's kind of agenda and politically. I love subtlety in movies. I love movies that are thought provoking. I want to leave a movie and like understand it and be like, okay, what was that trying to say, and do I resonate with that personally? But yeah, so I hope that's what he means when he says messages here, because messages in movies they're almost the foundational element of storytelling, is to have a powerful message, to give you something that you can walk out of the movie and something sticks with you. A part of the movie sticks with you. And if we are just going to resort to movies that are just entertaining, you're going into the movie and your experience with that film is for the 90 minutes or 120 minutes, and that's it. But there's stuff that come out, I can't think of an immediate example, but a movie that you continuously think about throughout the week. There's those movies that you're like, oh fuck, like you're just thinking about it. Your experience with that movie is a week. It's so much more, and it's more valuable to you. And then you're like, you love it and you think about it. And then what else do you do? You might listen to the score. You might buy it on 4K. You may rewatch it. You may take your friends to it, take your family to it. But if it's just entertaining, you go there, oh yeah, I had fun. Okay, carry on the rest of my day. What do I have to do? So I don't believe in that, and I hope they don't stick to that. I hope he just means more subtlety with messaging and making sure the movies are entertaining, which they should be as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I somewhat doubt that in terms of what you said, how he hopes. I think he's just all about money. He wants them to be entertaining, so more people go see it rather than think about it.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty much like a financial loss this year for Disney, really. Which is really, really, really bad for them, considering they are usually like the top studio for the years.
Yeah.
For X amount of years running.
I think they're still second, but they're quite below Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it does sort of seem like that. I think he wants to bring the golden era of Disney back,
Yeah.
because old school Disney films, they did have messages, but it was like, as I said, it wasn't so on the nose.
Yeah.
They were still pretty entertaining. So I think that's what he's going to go for. I think the best recent example of an entertaining film with messages is probably Soul. But that's Disney Pixar.
So
I can't think of the last Disney film that was both entertaining and had a message. It's usually
Elemental.
I said pure Disney.
Pure Disney. Well, he is CEO of Disney, and Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar fall under that umbrella, under his accountability.
No.
Should you say? So yeah, I mean, I guess that counts. And then Wish.
No.
We'll get to that one soon, eh?
Yeah, so yeah, I think you're right. I think they should bring back the subtlety, because I think the whole movie going experience is not just for those 2 hours.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, I just said Elemental. Sure, it got off to a horrendous start, but look at the word of mouth and the box office. So yeah, that perfect balance that you said with Soul as well. I think that's what really works for people. And that movie's not too on the nose about its meaning. It is an immigrant story, but it's not like going fully at you and being like, yeah, our life is hard and all this kind of stuff. It's just kind of giving it to you softly, subtly. It wraps up in really good characters, and it's really fun and entertaining at the same time. I think it needs to be a perfect blend like that.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that is a perfect Disney film. Is when they get both aspects right.
Yeah.
And with the recent stuff, it's either been one or the other. And they both haven't been good.
Yeah.
His last comments regarding sequel.
Regarding sequels, well, I mean, this is an obvious one. Yeah, he's right, but I don't think anything changes for Disney because they're just going to say, "Oh, yeah, that is a story worth telling," and by worth telling, he means they'll make money.
Pretty much.
That doesn't mean that there is a genuine creative that wants to be behind it and can tell the story and that it is worth telling. But if there's a story that is worth money, then it'll be greenlit. That's I fully believe that, and there is nothing in this world that makes me believe this statement in any sense of the word. Almost everything from Disney is a sequel, a prequel, a spin-off, or just something related to something else. Or, it's like a Star Wars, like just expanding characters and I don't see anything really new or innovative from them. And sure, you got like stuff like Wish. Even Wish needs to reference Bambi and Robin Hood and stuff like that. Like, God, be original. And I know it's like, it's a culmination of 100 years of Disney. I don't fuck off. No one cares. Like, just do your own thing. So, I don't buy this for a second. But if it is true, I hope so. Disney has the resources. I think they have the talent to craft original stories, build original universes, and take some risks. And if they want to do because if you had to put it in percentage of original versus sequel, spin-off, prequel, I would say it's about 90%, sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and whatever, and then 10% original.
Definitely.
Something around that, eh?
Definitely.
If they take it to 25% original, I would be happy with that. I just want Disney to take a little bit more risks. May not always pay off. I get that, but it may make more money than Marvel. So you're winning. Any movie that makes more than Marvel is winning at this point. I hope they do take more risks and we get more original. I just hope this isn't empty words.
Yeah, I think this statement is a big fat lie as well, and nothing's more obvious than Toy Story 5 and Frozen 3, where there's talks of Frozen 4 coming out as well.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
And Frozen 3 is not even out yet.
Yeah.
So
how's that story worth telling?
Yeah, it's literally based on a movie because he knows that Frozen's pretty much going to either get very close or go over $1 billion.
Frozen 3 could just be Olaf making milkshakes and, or in a hot dog contest. It's $800 million. And Disney know this, so they're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if he's being genuine about this, he would scrap a lot of sequels that are already ideas right now,
You know what, though? A story worth telling? Zootopia 2.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I've been waiting for that movie for so long.
We're going to get it.
Yeah. DreamWorks needs to take this advice.
That
Shrek 5 is worth telling.
Yes. And it was teased on Last Wish.
Yeah.
And we are going to get Shrek 5.
That would be my most anticipated movie.
That would be everyone's most anticipated. It can be a fucking hot garbage. It'll be my number 1 of the year.
Oh, imagine Zootopia 2 and Shrek 5 same year.
Oh, shit. Battle of the Swamps.
Battle of the Swamps. Oh, no.
Also funny, Zootopia was also referenced in Wish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they should probably focus on more original stuff because that's what made Disney so great, Lion King, Aladdin's, all the first Pixar Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Inside Out, Zootopia as well, Big Hero 6. They were all great films because they were all originals.
Yeah.
And now seems like over the past 6 years, it's just been sequels and sequels and sequels. Finding Dory, Incredibles 2, Frozen 2, 3, 4, Toy Story 4, 5. List goes on and on and on.
It doesn't stop there.
Many Cars films, 3 Cars films when,
And planes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but what was a lot of the original stuff is animated. Well, I don't know, live action. What's original?
Casper?
Wait, no. Casper.
Wait, no, I think that's DreamWorks. Never mind. I can't think of their last.
I'm just trying to look through now. A Haunted Mansion, but that's based on a ride.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, but then that's also based on a ride.
Well, that was like 2003. That is based on a ride as well. Oh yeah, you don't really have much.
It's all based on properties now, like comic books.
Literally, I'm going through it. All of them relate to something. Wow. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, Jungle Cruise is based on a ride as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you think is original, it's actually based on something.
I know.
So annoying. Yeah.
I guess in those 100 years, Disney have finally run out of ideas, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, I think they just need to get more creative. They probably need to they just need a creator to get high on acid or something. Let their mind trip into something crazy, pen it, and then there you go. There's a Disney original right there.
More MCU Disney Plus series, please.
Moving on.
Imagine if they're on an acid trip and they're just thinking of all these MCU projects.
Oh, God.
We've announced 10 projects for next year.
Kevin Feige's like, shit, fuck off. Fire this acid cunt. All right, we will actually move on now. So Furiosa is a prequel to the Mad Max franchise based on the character Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road. She was originally played by Charlize Theron, and now she's being played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Furiosa is coming out next year on May 24th next year. Yep, directed by George Miller.
Mm-hmm.
It also stars Chris Hemsworth as Immortan Joe, and it is based on a prequel of the younger years of Furiosa and Immortan Joe. Mm-hmm. So, what are your thoughts on the little trailer teaser?
I'm so glad this trailer came out before most anticipated 2024.
Me too.
Yeah, because man, it looks awesome. I didn't really have much doubts for this to begin with. It would have made my most anticipated list, but now it kind of stands a chance of being quite high. I loved Mad Max Fury Road. I love that movie. I think it was one of the best action movies of the decade and of all time, to be honest.
Agreed.
It's just so good. It's so intense. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. The acting is raw. It's just so well done. It's a directing masterclass. And I think that movie got 11 Oscar nominations. I think it won 6 of them. It really dominated and it absolutely deserved to. And this movie looks like it's going to be maybe not on par with it. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if there is much of a story with Furiosa. I think we need to wait and see what the movie can provide from a narrative perspective. But I think what worked about Mad Max Fury Road, it's just one long car chase scene.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and the story's not really there. There's barely any dialogue. It's just kind of all out intense. We need to get, I think it was to get the girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just got to get the girls and that's it. That's the only thing we're and you're just down for it. You're in it. And it's just so immersive and the action's just directed so well. And that might be where Mad Max hits its perfect sweet spot and just being a pure raw action film. So I don't expect too much from a story perspective with this, but I hope that there is at least a loose narrative that is compelling that I can buy into, young Furiosa. And I just hope it doesn't dabble too much into story. And that sounds weird, but I think for these movies to work at their best, it's just to be all out, post-apocalyptic kind of chase scenes or action sequences. It really works, and it has the typical Mad Max imagery, the locations. It looks so beautiful. I love this world and how crazy and insane it is. It's just absolutely wild, but it's so intense. If it can capture the intensity of the Mad Max Fury Road, oh man, I'm fully down for this. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is probably the perfect choice. Besides Charlize Theron to play Furiosa, I'm like, okay, I'm fully on board. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's going to be really good in this, and so yeah, I'm on board for it. Chris Hemsworth, who does he play?
Immortan Joe.
Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
But we see him in the trailer.
I assume the person that he's face to face with in the trailer is that Immortan Joe.
All right.
So he'll end up being his successor or something. I don't know.
I don't know, yeah.
It's based on assumptions at this point.
Interesting. But he looks really fun. And he doesn't quite look himself. It's not like Colin Farrell as the Penguin kind of level prosthetics, but he still looks almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Makes you double look.
Yeah, and he has a really strong Australian accent. Yeah, which is great. It's just a neat little spin on it. And he said that I think it was his best time or best role that he's done. Like, he just had so much fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm fully on board with this. I have no doubt in George Miller in the Mad Max universe. He knows it perfectly. It's his world. I'm looking forward to another film in that world.
Yeah, I'm so goddamn excited for this one as well. It looks fantastic. Like, from a visual standpoint, I think we're going to get all the best aspects of Fury Road in this as well.
Yeah,
visual, sound. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
especially the colors as well. You know, you got the very bright oranges, and then there's a scene where it's like really dark blues. Great scene. So I think it's really going to capture the best part of Mad Max and bring it into this. I think the biggest concern really is the story. And how it's going to be, because you said it before that Fury Road was just a massive ass car chase, and that's what made it so entertaining.
Yeah.
But if this is the rise of Immortan Joe and pretty much Furiosa becoming an outcast, there's a lot of story there that will need to be told. It doesn't quite sound as actiony as a Mad Max film should be. I could be wrong. It is George Miller. It is his baby at the end of the day, and he knows this down to a T, you know. So I have complete faith in him to nail this out of the park.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, you touched upon it. She's a fantastic actress. I know a lot of people did want to see Charlize Theron in a Furiosa sequel. I know that when this got announced and it was Anya Taylor-Joy, everyone's like, what? It should be Charlize, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, shut up. Anya Taylor-Joy is going to knock it out of the park.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't know if you heard the recent comment by I heard that George Miller didn't have Charlize Theron because he didn't like the de-aging technology that was used in The Irishman. Yeah.
Which is good.
Dig at Martin Scorsese.
Which is good, I guess, because, you know, de-aging, it either works or it doesn't. And when it really works is when it's still and nothing's fast-paced, you know, there's not much happening on screen.
Yeah, but if it's going to be an entire movie and stuff,
Yeah, and a Mad Max film, you think about a Mad Max, it's just a constant rush.
Yeah.
You feel like as if, like, your heart's pounding because you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like, so much is happening. So I can see why he didn't want to use it, and because the de-aging, he'll just know that the de-aging wouldn't fit with this story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. May 24th can't come soon enough.
Oh man, I'm so looking forward to that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and yeah, speaking of most anticipated, don't know when we're gonna do it. We just need to see when a couple of trailers come out or first looks at movies. We get a decent dose of, you know, what we're seeing next year. So we'll push that out maybe a few more weeks.
Maybe two or 3 weeks. We'll get it out to you guys.
But and there'll be a special episode. We'll wait for Kyan. We'll have him on board for that one. What else are we gonna do? We are gonna do MGAs, more of a little podcast segment for that one, rather than what we used to do on Instagram for that. We'll do that. We'll obviously be covering Oscars here as well, so it's going to be a lot of fun for the month of December for podcasts. We're going to do a bunch of specials and all that stuff. Yeah.
And if we can end up going to see Poor Things and maybe, what was the other one? Passages. We could possibly do a top 10 already.
Passages? Well, Passages only had that best...
Yeah, no, I just decided to include it just in case. But I think really Poor Things and I think The Holdovers were the two that we're really waiting for.
I know Poor Things. The Zone of Interest. I know it comes out on video on demand, so we can get it that way. For us, I think that's mid-December. Oh, yeah. So in a couple of weeks there. I think the other one, American Fiction. Maestro, we'll get Maestro this month. We'll get Poor Things this month. American Fiction, Origin. Yeah, we're seeing Ferrari next week. Perhaps the Iron Claw.
Oh, yes, I really want
to see that. All of Us Strangers, Rustin. That might be it to really get a good full top 10. I think we're in luck this year. New Zealand does not do this.
We might actually give you our top 10 in the year that our top 10 is based on.
Oh, that is going to be unprecedented for us. What did we do? We did it in May, our top 10. Yeah.
May, 6 months into the year. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you guys on? I'm like, yeah, sorry. We're from New Zealand. We're not lucky. All right. That will do us on today's Let's Be Real podcast. I hope you've all enjoyed the show wherever you are listening from. If you have any questions about this episode, be sure to hit us up on social media. You can hit us up on X or Instagram, and you can also check out TikTok, Pinterest, and our YouTube channels as well. Or if you want to see what else we get up to over here, head over to MovieGainz.com. We have all the latest box office news, film and physical media reviews and content, and a whole lot more. And hey, if you love listening to our voices, head over to Spotify, wherever you pod from, and search Let's Be Real. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. We'll catch you on the next one with MovieGainz. See ya.
Peace.